Hiya! Welcome! Finally, I can show you all my Record Store Day pickups today. I apologise that Records Roundup 98 from a couple of weeks back wasn't the Record Store Day edition that I thought it would be, but as I explained in that video, I'd just bought too much really to try and save over and include that along with all the actual Record Store Day pickups. So today's the day, number 99, here we are, and we'll get to the RSD releases that I was able to get and my success to failure ratio very shortly. I've got some other non-RSD pickups that I'll start with, and there'll be a mail opening at the end of a new release, and there should be a bonus item, not a free item, but a reduced bonus LP in that mail opening as well. One more bit of housekeeping before I get cracking on, and there is a lot here, so I don't want to hang around too much, but if this ends up being a long one, thank you if you're sticking around. Coming soon on the channel is Records Roundup 100. I've decided to do something a bit different and a bit more special to mark 100 episodes of this essential long-running guide to buying records, mostly on the internet and very occasionally in store. It'll be out in June sometime. I can't say right now what the exact date will be, but I will probably premiere Records Roundup 100, so do look out for that on your subscription feeds, and I hope you'll join me for it, as it's a bit of a different one before we get back to business as normal from 101 onwards. Right then, some non-Record Store Day pickups to show you first. This is one from Discogs Marketplace. I think it's the only one from Discogs out of all of this lot, weirdly enough. This is something that I nearly got ages ago, like at least 18 months, maybe more, when I was really building up my New Order and Related collection. I only didn't get it, even though it was pretty cheap. This one in particular that I've got here was £4 and another £3 in postage. But I didn't decide to get it back then because it's just a one-track, single-sided promo. I've got the track. It features on a Monaco 12-inch single, and I think it's on one of the CD singles for Sweet Lips as well. It's Shattered, and this is literal hole filling really. Well, not literal, but it's inessential to a massive extent really. I just felt, you know what, because it's so cheap, why not just get it? And this was a nice copy to get actually, because it's got this press release type thing in it as well. Monaco Shattered, taken from the forthcoming single Sweet Lips. This is another pop promotion special for you, a limited 100 copies, one-sided promo only 12-inch from Monaco. Blah 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 blah. You have been specially selected to receive this record, so your reaction is invaluable to us. For more information, please contact Hugh, the mysterious Hugh. As this has been separated out, this only came recently and I've not really done anything with it. We'll have a look at the vinyl, and it's also interesting, I suppose, to see a single-sided disc, although it's not etched. That'll be the non-playable side. As you can tell, there's no grooves in it. So yeah, just one track from Monaco there. Shattered, which was the B-side to Sweet Lips. A cheap pickup that I didn't need and that I didn't bother getting when I was really doubling down and focusing on the New Order collection, but better late than never. Right then, this next one is from a site called Music Stack. I'd been waiting a while for this, as it did take a while to get from Italy, I think it was, that I bought it, or was it Germany? Why do I always get those mixed up? No, I think it was Germany actually. Anyway, couple of records roundups ago, you'll have seen the Morrissey special, and I was really hoping that this album would have arrived in time. It didn't, and nor did it arrive in time for Records Roundup 98 either, but it's finally arrived. Music Stack, by the way, it's something I've used from time to time over the years. It's kind of a little bit like Discogs Marketplace, certainly in its layout and in how you find stuff. but it's just basically where third-party sellers can put listings up. A lot of them international, but you do get UK sellers on there as well. And this album, Years of Refusal, was one that looked very expensive on Discogs, yet it was a price that was just about acceptable to me from a seller in Germany on Music Stack. Standard black vinyl, hence why I've not got it open. An album from, it says on screen, but I think 2009's ringing a bell. I bet I've got that wrong. Just another one to add to the Morrissey collection. Probably won't see much, if any, Morrissey for a long time on this channel from now on, as I was surprised I was able to get this for such a good price. And it wasn't cheap. I think including postage, taxes I believe are already included. It was around 40 something euro, which is really, conversion from euro to pound sterling or not, probably around double what I normally like to spend on Morrissey records. But I have now got all the cheap and easily available Moz albums. It's just ones like this now that are a bit more pricey, but I am glad to have that. Morrissey there holding the little baby on the cover. There is the hype sticker. That is Years of Refusal.
The absence of your smiling face, I travel all over the place, and I have decided I'm throwing my arms around Paris, because only stone and steel accept my love. I'm throwing my arms around Paris, because only stone and steel accept my love.
Now here's two albums from Revived Vinyl Records in Cheshire that I've had my eye on these for quite some time now, but the price has always put me off. They are technically upgrades of a fashion to ones I've already got in my yellow collection. Now, about a year ago, maybe a bit less, I did upgrade other yellow albums that I had from kind of original or foreign older pressings to newer reissues, and at least one or two of those reissues came with a bonus 12-inch. Well, there's two other yellow albums in this kind of reissue campaign that they embarked upon a few years ago that I'd not got a chance to upgrade, because everywhere I looked they were selling these albums, and yeah, they do come with a bonus disc, so they're not terrible value, but for kind of £40-45 or more, I just didn't want to pay that when I had original or older pressings anyway. But I have finally upgraded thanks to Revived Vinyl, who were doing a 20% off code around Record Store Day. They're not an RSD seller, by the way, but it was kind of a code to coincide with Record Store Day. So these that were up on the site for well over 40, I managed to get for a little bit over 30, which I think was good value. So the first one is Yellow's second studio album, I think, Claro KC. Big old hype sticker there. You can see if you turn it round, that's the bonus 12-inch single, Live at the Roxy, NY, December 83. That's on, I think, clear vinyl. I won't get it open and show you, so happy to have that. And also, I got their third album, You Gotta Say Yes to Another Excess. I've had all of Yellow's studio albums for a long time now, but these were the two remaining reissues that I really wanted. There's one more, the 91 album, I think it is, Baby, that did get a reissue at some point in fairly recent years, but it wasn't in this special series where they were bundling a 12-inch with it. The 12-inch here is I Love You, and I think that's on clear vinyl as well. I'm not in any rush for that. I've got a copy of that album. As for the older albums, by the way, I did manage to sell those on eBay. I don't need more than one copy of each Yellow album. But there we go. Second from Yellow and their third one. Great act. I highly recommend Boris and Dieter.
You know I need it to ride in your car. I know it's dangerous, you're going too far. I love you. I'm always with you wherever you go. This is essential. The way you drive is just sensational. I love you. I to love you all the same. You know, baby, driving is a serious game.
I love you.
I know,
I love you.
I know. You're gonna get me a heart attack. Stop it, hold it back.
Alright, here's one that when I just saw it advertised on a random Instagram post from an account I wasn't even following, I suppose a promotional post, an ad really, I thought, oh my god, I've got to get that. This apparently is an album that is completely unofficial and originally came out in 2013. It's had some vinyl pressings and quite a few CD pressings over the years, and this is like the latest wave of represses here, and it's by a guy called Tom Karuna, I think that's probably how you pronounce his name, who is a record label and record store owner, or at least online record store, because it was his I got it from, TC Records, and it's his mashup of Wu-Tang versus the Beatles, the album called Enter the Magical Mystery Chambers. So these aren't official, as you would no doubt understand. This is a double LP, and it had a few different variants for the 2026 repressing campaign, and I chose a very nice splatter, which we'll look at now. I mean, it fits in the Beatles collection. I don't own any Wu-Tang Clan records, to be perfectly honest. Nothing against them. I do like a lot of hip-hop, but just not an act I've ever really had the time or inclination to get into. I do like the old school looking centre labels here as well. But really nice record, that. Beautiful spatter effect. I can't remember the other colours. I think there's a standard black edition and at least one or two others, as well as at least one CD repressing as well. And if you do go on Discogs and look for this album, you will see that it has been released a fair amount since 2013 when it originally surfaced, but not all of them are available because of its kind of grey market status. But this will probably get repressed by Tom Karuna and TC Records again sooner or later if you're interested. I love a good mashup. I love the Beatles. I think this is a really nicely designed cover as well. Just thought this would be interesting to have as a bit of a mashup curio for the collection. Wu-Tang Clan versus the Beatles, Enter the Magical Mystery Chambers. We stick with hip-hop and we move on to something that's probably even more unusual, although this is an official release, even more unusual than Wu-Tang versus Beatles really. This is an album, originally it came out, it would have been CD only back in 2003 I think. It got a Record Store Day reissue on vinyl for the first time in 2023, but it was in North America only. I say only, it could have been other territories, but UK and Europe definitely wasn't one of them. And I kind of forgot about it to a large extent after that, but then I saw it advertised somewhere and noticed it had had a few reissues since 2023 on different coloured vinyl. I looked on iMusic in Denmark to see if they had any, and they had two different versions, a new one from 2026 and then this one which was almost £10 cheaper, which I think this was maybe a 2024 pressing. But it is Be a Man by Macho Man Randy Savage. Kind of a notorious album this. I haven't got an official section that's called So Bad It's Good, but I suppose this might qualify. although I've not heard anything on it, so maybe I'll legitimately like this in a non-ironic way. Okay, so I don't know if Macho Man Randy Savage needs much introduction. One of the greatest pro wrestlers of all time. I think most people who know me know that I am a wrestling fan. I have been since I was a child. Macho Man was one of my favourite wrestlers growing up. But weirdly, after he'd pretty much more or less fully retired from in-ring competition around 2002, 2003, he did have one more match that was barely a match at all in 2004, I think, but I won't get into that. Around that time, he decided to record and release a hip-hop album. It includes a diss track for the late Hulk Hogan on this. Of course, Randy Savage, real name Randy Poffo, died in, I think that was 2011. So let's have a look at this, just a single disc. The price of this, by the way, was about $35, but the newer edition, which is still only a one disc one, was almost £10 more at iMusic, and that's a really nice orange colour. Bit of a weird career pivot, and this is the only album he ever released. He has featured on music related releases in the dim and distant. I remember he was one of the vocalists, if that's not too broad a term, on the WWF Superstars single that did pretty well over here around 1992-93. That came out, Slam Jam, along with Bret Hart, The Undertaker and British Bulldog. I think they were the other vocalists on there. Calling those lot vocalists as a stretch. Nice hype sticker on here as well. I've wanted this really since I knew it had at least one RSD reissue from a few years ago, and it's had a few more since, so it's relatively easy to get internationally now. I'm actually looking forward to, believe it or not, listening to Be a Man from the madness himself, Macho Man Randy Savage.
I smell a coward, is that you, Hogan? Macho's gonna kick your butt, there's a slogan. You tried to ignore me thinking I'll go away, but I'ma keep on messing with you, dude, day after day. And once you step two, Macho, you through. The joke's on you, so Hulk, what you gonna do? Probably nothing, cause you're a real big punk. You call my dad up on the phone, man, you's a chump. Cause if you really got static, take it up with me, and I'll pump your butt out for the world to see. Be a man, Hulk.
Come on, don't be scared. You're running from Macho, that's what I heard.
Be a man, Hogan.
Come on, don't be a chump. I never thought Hulk would go out like a punk.
Be a man, Hulk.
Come on, don't be scared. You're running from Macho, that's what I heard.
Be a man, Hogan.
Boy, you's a chump. Cause Hulk Hogan is a real big punk.
Right then, we stick with iMusic, but we now go on to all of my record store day pickups. So thank you for your patience if you've been waiting or you've been scrubbing through the video, just wanting to know what I got for RSD. I've got my list here, not because I couldn't remember what I wanted, but I just wanted to make a note of all the websites that I bought these from so I didn't get them wrong, although you will see them on screen anyway, so it wouldn't matter too much. But for Record Store Day, there was 8 titles that I definitely wanted, and then there was 3 in my maybe list. The result is I got 2 from the maybe list. They were easy enough to get that I thought, well, blow it, I'll get them now, even though I wasn't desperate for them. And I got 7 of the 8 definite, so I think I did very well actually. The one album I missed out on because it seemed to sell out really quick online. Obviously, I did the online RSD the following Monday after Saturday's Record Store Day in late April, was the Weezer Demos album. I'm quite disappointed because I am a Weezer fan and collector, but it's not a studio album. Maybe Weezer themselves will give it a more wide-ranging repressing one day. It wasn't my top one, certainly. On to the ones I did get. 2 from iMusic. The first here to show you was actually one of the 3 maybes. Maybe record that I decided not to bother getting was the OMD Archive Volume 1. May still pick that up down the line if I see it reduced anywhere. I don't think it was a massively popular one, but I wasn't in any rush for it. But this one is, of course, Hello Space Boy by David Bowie, and this is really for the Pet Shop Boys collection, because it's got the, although they're not credited particularly notably on this, apart from in very small text here, but the 7 and 12 inch remixes are by the Pet Shop Boys, of course. Also on here, Lost in Space mix, Double Click mix, Instrumental mix, and Tim Simonon mix. Never owned this on CD single, although I think my mum had the cassette single, funnily enough, when this first came out in 1996. Nice heavyweight, vaguely translucent pink there. I've thought about getting an original 7 or 12 inch of this single in the recent past, but I'm glad that I didn't bother now, and I just waited for this nice RSD issue here. So Hello Space Boy, Pet Shop Boys and David Bowie.
Your silhouette is so stationary. You're released, but your custody cold. And I wanna be free. Don't you wanna be free? Do you like girls or boys? It's confusing these days. But moon dust will cover you. So bye bye love. Yeah, bye bye love. Hello space boy. This chaos is killing me. Hello space boy.
Now, here was my number one want, because it had to be really, given who it is. You know, this wasn't popular particularly everywhere. All the sites that I was able to get on after 8 o'clock on that Monday night, they all had it. iMusic, I kind of went there first, so I got this because that and Bowie were available there. And it is the electronic mini album or EP remixes 1996-1999. So just a 6-track album, if you can call it an album. It has got an RSD hype on it, which is nice. Covers some remixes, not a comprehensive collection by any stretch, from the periods surrounding their second album Raise the Pressure and third and final album Twisted Tenderness. Being a New Order and Related collector and super fan, this was obviously top of my picks, but I always knew it'd be easy enough to get this. You know, I could have bet the farm that I would find this easily, as I knew it wouldn't be a particularly sought after title, apart from in this house, of course. But I'm so happy that I got it nonetheless. The electronic remixes.
You're driving me crazy, oh baby. 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 This love was born instead of hate. Celebrate our love. Let me feel the right vibration. Celebrate our love. And until the end of time, celebrate what's mine. Make it good and let it shine. Celebrate our love.
The next two were probably the joint second really. I'll class them as joint second as they're both the same artist. But these were the second most sought after for me personally, if I had to rank my RSD wants. I got these from Dig Vinyl, quite appropriately in Liverpool. We've got Dark Horse by George Harrison, the Zoetrope series of course. Now, I bought Wonderwall music and electronic sound, not on Record Store Day a couple of years ago, but a little while afterwards, because I think they had a bit of money off them. Then All Things Must Pass came out on Zoetrope last year. I missed out on it. That was exceedingly popular, way more so than I thought it would be, and I ended up getting a different edition of that, and I've talked about it before. I was able to jump back into the Zoetrope collecting, as that's the way I want to collect George Harrison, really. They released the next in the series for RSD Black Friday last year, Living in the Material World, and then when the RSD list came out earlier this year, they decided to put out 2 Harrison albums, the next 2 in the series, Dark Horse and the next one. So I have opened these out, so I just want to give you a little look at, well, both sides seem to be about the same, really. I'm sure there's very slight differences. Yeah, the Zoetropes, the picture discs. If you don't like them, no one's forcing you to buy them. You can see the price on there, £39. I wasn't even trying to shop around on that Record Store Day online sale on Monday, just with websites crashing and being really slow and being booted out of queues and stuff. I just didn't care where I got things from or what I paid for them, as long as I could get everything or nearly everything on my wish list. So of course we've also got, oops, picked up 2 records there. We've also got Extra Texture, Read All About It, the follow-up to Dark Horse. So just nice that these are coming out, really. I've not got an awful lot to say about them, particularly as I've never heard any of the albums before. You know, this is just an interesting and slightly unusual way for me to slowly collect all the George Harrison studio albums, as they're all meant to be coming out on Zoetrope vinyl eventually. And we're up to Extra Texture now, so perhaps there'll be another one coming out. What's the next album after this? Is it 33 1/3? Perhaps that one will be next for Black Friday, or maybe we'll have to wait nearly another year and Record Store Day 2027, and that's me wishing my life away. But there we go, the Zoetropes, Harrison's Dark Horse and Extra Texture. This next one was from Asai Records in Glasgow. Another RSD release that I figured wouldn't be particularly sought after, like electronic, certainly for a lot of people, kind of low down on the must-have roster of releases. Being a fan of this band and a collector, I certainly wanted it. It is the Cooler Shaker 12-inch Good Money, the track from their most recent studio album, Worm Slayer. It's got 3 tracks on it. I think it says what those tracks are on screen. It's all different versions of Good Money, and it's a nice coloured vinyl, this, even though the sleeve itself is a bit boring. Well, it's meant to look and vaguely resemble a generic 12-inch sleeve, isn't it? That's a beautiful disc there. Blue and yellow quarters. Lovely stuff. Good track. It's not the best one Cooler Shaker have ever done, but I do try and get everything that they release that comes out on vinyl. There is older Cooler Shaker stuff that has long since been deleted, and I'm desperate for them to do repressings, but I've talked about that in previous videos. And if wishes were horses, beggars would ride, as my mother would say. So there we go. That is Good Money, the mixers or different versions of it from Cooler Shaker. Right, the next one from Bending Sound in Bangor. I know I used them to get the Oasis Time Flies box set that came out for last year's Record Store Day, and I was happy to use them again, as I always find them really efficient. But this one was actually the other of the maybe ones, the ones that I didn't really care if I missed out on, or that I would possibly get down the line on a discount. But I was having a lot of fun, spending a lot of money that evening. This was the only thing left that I kind of wanted from Bending Sound that I hadn't already got elsewhere. So I thought, you know what, as it kind of fits with the George Harrison collection as well, I'm going to get it. And it is the Radha Krishna Temple. A Dark Horse release, not a Zoetrope, but it's not a Harrison release, although he was the producer of it. Yes, produced by George Harrison. So this is technically part of my Beatles and related collection now. And I do have the single, or the first single that came out, the Hare Krishna Mantra. We have seen orange vinyl already with Randy Savage, but I'll show you this as it's open anyway. And that looks like it's got a little bit of marbling in it to me. I don't know if that's deliberate or just a kind of manufacturing quirk. You probably couldn't see that particularly well on camera anyway. Looks like there's some interesting sleeve notes in what will presumably be a gatefold in there, but I'm trying to keep this video moving along. I know it's going to be quite a long one. I'm trying to rush through these really without talking about them too much. The price of it, £33. Perhaps I would have seen this cheaper if I'd waited a few weeks or months, but I was at Bending Sound, and like I say, I think they're a really good site. Always happy to support them, and because I'd picked up pretty much everything that I could get elsewhere by then, this was like a late bonus addition to one of many shopping baskets that night. So the Radha Krishna Temple. Next is another one I got quite early on in the evening, and there again, and I think this is probably the case with many of my personal wants for Record Store Day every year. I don't think this one is anyone's particular elite tier want for RSD, but I'm a fan of the band. I saw them live last year, so I had to get Quarrelsome Moments by Lightning Seeds. So this is Rarities and B-Sides. It's standard black vinyl, hence why it's not been opened. Weirdly, although I think most of the tracks, almost all of them, I don't think I've heard before, so I've never really owned any Lightning Seeds singles. I might have owned the odd one on CD back in the 90s, but weirdly, track 4 on side 1 is the single version of Ready or Not, which kind of seems a bit incongruous, given that we're supposed to have rarities and B-sides here. But great to have another Lightning Seeds compilation. In a Records Roundup maybe 2 or 3 ago, I did show the Tomorrow's Here Today compilation, the Amazon exclusive that I'd been dithering over for quite some time. And of course, this one with nearly every track on it I won't have heard before. Had to get it. Quarrelsome Moments.
Got a million thoughts, and if I thought them all, I'll find a million more tonight. And when I'm feeling sad, it's 'cause you're such a drag. Then I get so mad, and then I feel so bad. Oh, you make me feel alright. It's like the tip of those top of those. Crack up your face and give us a smile. Oh, it's ready or not, here we go till we drop. Don't be square, fix your face and grow your hair.
Right then, last 2 Record Store Day releases that I picked up, both from different places. I'll get on to why I was a bit worried about the second one when I get to that. But the one that was very easy to get, I think it's still in stock in some places as I'm recording this. It is the Antidepressants demos from Suede. So Suede always seemed to release an album, or in this case 2 albums for Record Store Day. It's always something that's a little bit unusual. Was it last year that we had the volume 2 of Sci-Fi Lullabies? And previous years we've had the Suede demos, as in the demos for their very first studio album. This is on black vinyl. I'm not massively excited about it, even as a limited amount pressed worldwide. You know, this one was the one that you could get pretty much everywhere still, even long after all the traffic had died down on the internet, and I'd really got everything that I could get apart from Weezer. So that is Antidepressants Demos. But the one that seemed a lot rarer, I say rarer, but it seemed to sell out quite quick. And then everywhere that I was going, I had so many tabs open on my phone at one point. It was quite overwhelming, to be honest, but it's like that every Record Store Day. Some might say I should really just have gone and queued up or something at Tallbird. But yeah, I didn't fancy spending the night in the cold, because obviously I would have wanted to have got there stupid o'clock just so I'd got a half decent place in the queue. It would be really cold still, it only being end of April. Anyway, this one I managed to eventually find it at 100 Records, which is in Romsey in Hampshire. I have used them once before, I think, way back in probably 2023. But they came through for me. This was out of stock everywhere. I was running out of ideas of which record shop websites to look for. Remembered about 100 Records and that they were an RSD retailer, and I was able to get Coming Up at the BBC by Suede. So less of these in the world. Whether that contributed to how quickly this seemed to sell out everywhere, I'm not sure. But it's probably a more interesting proposition than the Antidepressants demos. I don't know if it's the entire Coming Up album, which was Suede's 3rd studio album and one of their best ones, in my opinion. It's kind of like a live and sessions album. It's got stuff from the Radio 1 evening session, Reading Festival, Roskilde Festival, a Mark Radcliffe session. It would have been weird, and it would have been really annoying to me, someone who has OCD for a lot of things, if I'd managed to get the antidepressant demos and not this. It would have really just been messing with my head as a whole in the collection until I could eventually get this. But 100 Records did have it, and they sent it out really quick. All this got sent out really quick, to be fair. I think I had everything that I'd ordered, all, 9 albums, 10 albums, or whatever the amount is I got for Record Store Day. I had them all the following Saturday, I think. So a little look at this. It's pink, by the way, which we have seen pink, but oh wow, that one's really bright, certainly as I'm sat behind it here. I think it looks more red on camera actually, but no, trust me, that is a hot pink, that. So relieved, really. I'm happy. Relieved isn't quite the right term. When I saw, oh wow, that's actually in stock somewhere. I checked so many sites, and I was still looking for Weezer at this point, although in my head I'd kind of given up hope with that. Well, there we go. Last of the RSD releases to show you today, coming up at the BBC.
He's been smoking. It's gonna be alright. As tonight we'll go dancing, we'll go laughing, we'll get cussing, and it will be okay. Like everyone said, it will be alright. And ever so nice, we're going out tonight. Out and about tonight. Oh, whatever makes her happy on a Saturday night. Oh, whatever makes her happy, whatever makes it alright.
And finally, a mail opening. So this has come today. The new album, the new release, is out today, the day of me recording this, from one of my favourite bands. It's their first album of original material since 2014, apparently. But there should be 2 records in here, and I'll get this open and I'll explain why. I've got a returns label there to Sandbag, who handle orders for Mute Bank. There's your clue. Right, so before I get to the new release, I'll show you, yep, and they've actually put the bonus items that are really for that album in a sleeve with this album here. So I'll just take those out as they're not really relevant to that. But this one is Tonal Evidence 2025. Mute Tonal Evidence is a series that's been going donkey's years now. I don't think they've been releasing this stuff on vinyl that long. It's been kind of sort of CD and before that cassette. They do it every year, and I think the album generally costs kind of £25 to £30. It's tracks from artists on the Mute roster that aren't available or easily available on physical media. Lieback is included on here with Engine of Survival. Is there any other artists I know? Couple that look vaguely familiar, but mostly no, not really. There was a pop-up when I was going to pre-order the final album saying if you buy anything today you can add Mute Tonal Evidence to your basket just for £10. I thought, you know what, I have never got that compilation before, so I decided I would. So it fits the Lieback collection. It's meant to be quite minimalist, and it's out of, what was it? It says on screen it's 350 copies. Mine is 239. I don't think this is available anymore. I think probably once other Mute Bank customers started being offered this for £10 just to clear the remaining stock, I guess, with any other purchase, then this probably went quite quick. There might be some on the aftermarket if you're that interested. It's inessential really, but for £10, a limited thing with this order, I thought why not? So that was Tonal Evidence, a various artists compilation. Now for the final record today, and it is of course the new Lieback album, Music. Yeah, I'm so excited, but I'm always excited when Lieback put a new release out. It's weird that this is technically their first album of original material since 2014's Spectre, given that they have released other albums and done reissues and reworkings over the past, what would that be, 12 years. Got a hype sticker on there, limited edition neon pink vinyl. Do I need to really get a third pink record? I might as well actually. Includes Algorithm Music, Singularity, Love Machine and Fluid Emancipation. So yeah, a bit of a commentary on AI music, this, in Lieback's inimitable way. And the little bonus bits that I got, well, there's a generic Mute sticker here that I don't think is anything to do with Lieback themselves, but we do have this rather nice, I've had these before relating to certain artists, this nice Mute sticker here with the Mute logos, then the Lieback Music logo as well. And also, I'm very pleased about, a signed card there. Signed by 4 of the members. And this was only available if you pre-ordered the album at Mute Bank and possibly Lieback's own web store. But I couldn't swear to that. Very narrow aperture here to slice into, making me feel a bit boz-eyed doing that. But yeah, I thought it's worth getting this open just so I can stick the bonus stuff inside the sleeve. So yeah, more pink there, but more of a translucent pink, or neon as they call it. Can't wait to hear this. I can't wait to hear all of this really, but some acts you get more excited about than others, don't you? Put all the little bits in. So there we go, last album today in Records Roundup number 99, the brand new effort from the Slovenian lads at Lieback and Music.
I dream of music, I dream of music, I dream of music, I dream of music. For all of us,
Music is a danger zone.
for all of us,
Music is sensation.
for all of us.
Music Music is the big unknown, it's the source and revelation.
I dream of music. 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 I dream of music.
Music is the battleground. Music makes you high when you are down. Music puts you in when you're out. Music blasting all about.
And there we go, Records Roundup 99, the RSD 2026 one is complete. Thank you all for watching. If you stuck with me throughout this, or even if you scrubbed through and you just skipped bits that you found boring, which, knowing my luck, was probably most of it, but still, if you're here still now, I do thank you very much for that. And of course, I want to say special thanks to my wonderful subscribers and generous patrons. Make a note for the special Records Roundup 100 coming at some point in June. You will get notified when I schedule it for a premiere, so look out for the date of that, and I hope you can join me for it, as it's going to be extra special, I guess. You be the judge, I suppose. But until then, and until whatever video comes out on this channel next, I will say my goodbyes now and ask that you join me again for the next Records Roundup, the big 100, and my next record collecting video. Cheers everyone. See ya!